Welcome to part 2 of my 2-part series on GLP-1s. Today, we're going to talk about the 3 most common questions I hear from folks. Number 1, why does my weight loss stall when I'm taking a GLP-1? Number 2, what are some natural ways that I can support my body's own production of GLP-1? And number 3, how do I prevent that weight regain when I come off of the GLP-1? Let's dive in. So number 1, why does weight loss stall while taking a GLP-1? A lot of people, even healthcare practitioners, assume that when weight loss stalls, we need to increase the dose and or add on another GLP-1 or change the medication. There are many reasons why our weight loss is resistant, way more than we're going to be able to go into in this video, but let's talk about some of the common reasons why weight loss stalls while on a GLP-1. One is metabolic adaptation. What does that mean? When you lose weight, your body naturally burns less calories. Your metabolism becomes more efficient. You need less calories to drive day-to-day functions. So you may need to start lowering your caloric intake even further. Now, there are potential risks depending on where you already are. We don't want to go too low, because if we go too low, whether you're a female or a male, you can risk nutrient deficiencies. You can risk creating a stress response in your body by eating too little. That disrupts all other hormones. And we can really curtail that metabolism long term. So it is a fine line in regards to how much we're eating, but also what we are eating, right? Another reason is that loss in lean body mass. We talked about that in the first part. So if we are not prioritizing our strength training and protein in our diet, we can lose up to 40% of that weight from muscle. And muscle is your metabolic engine. So less muscle, lower metabolism. And another reason, often overlooked, is something called dysbiosis. So this is our gut microbiome. So we have different bacteria, and we need to keep it in a healthy balance. And when that becomes disrupted, that's called dysbiosis. And that can absolutely affect your metabolism as well as weight and body composition. In fact, our gut bacteria are very metabolically active, and they send healthy metabolic signals to the brain. So you've got a direct beeline from what's going on in the gut to what's going on in the brain. And so when we talk about hunger and food noise and cravings, a lot of that is driven by the brain. So we got to think about the two together. So again, why is often overlooked. So how do we keep that microbiome healthy and robust? We need to prioritize a diverse, don't eat like a toddler. You don't want to be in a food jag. Diversify your diet, lots of colorful plants. We don't want to be plant-based. We want to be plant-forward. That's going to be the priority, along with your protein. Those are the 2 most important things. High fiber from those plants, fermented foods, keeping those ultra-processed foods, sugar and artificial sweeteners down, because those destroy our bacterial balance. All right, let's move on to number 2. How can you naturally stimulate the production of GLP-1 in your body? Maybe you're not ready to embark on the GLP-1 journey, or it's too expensive, you can't afford it. What can you do? Are you doomed because you can't take this medication? Absolutely not. So along with those microbial balance tactics that we just talked about, we want to keep our microbiome strong, healthy, and balanced, because that naturally helps us, because we have the right bacteria that stimulates GLP-1 production and also talks to the brain to quiet the food noise, the cravings, the hunger. But we also have a couple different products. So there is a patented supplement that's gaining a lot of attention called Calocur. This is a hops extract from New Zealand, and the clinical research is showing up to 80% drop in appetite by stimulating the gut hormones that are involved in satiety, including GLP-1. Now, it also helps lower cravings and that food noise that comes along. It's also a lot less expensive than GLP-1. So in my professional opinion, I feel it's absolutely worth the experiment. Now, this is not a magic bullet, just like GLP-1 is not a magic bullet. Doesn't mean it's going to be safer, doesn't mean it's going to be more effective. It's just a natural alternative. It can still have similar adverse effects. So you got to follow the same tactics that we've been talking about in this 2-part series. Another promising area is a beneficial bacteria called Akkermansia muciniphila. That is a mouthful, but think about Akkermansia. So this is a type of bacteria that is associated with a healthy metabolism, improved insulin sensitivity, so less insulin resistance, and also a healthier body composition and weight. And when I run microbial analyses in my practice, I routinely see Akkermansia low or completely depleted, like it's not even present. So we have an opportunity to support that, especially when we're deficient, and you support with a probiotic like Akkermansia muciniphila, we can really see some positive impacts. Now, those are a couple products that we could take, but what can you do naturally? How you live can stimulate GLP-1. A lot of things that we've been talking about in these videos along the way. So prioritizing your protein and your diverse, colorful plants for fiber. So that's actually what you should start with in your meal. Start with your protein and your vegetables before you do anything else, like the healthy fats and the carbohydrates. You need to close your kitchen by 6 p.m. Earlier if you can. Nothing good happens after 6 when we're talking about weight loss resistance, the ability to lose weight and body fat. We are less metabolically strong. We are more insulin resistant the later in a circadian day. We need to prioritize strength training. In the case of cardio, high intensity interval training. So those bursts of intensity followed by some recovery. We need to boost fiber, soluble fiber, like organic oats and psyllium. We need to prioritize our sleep, 7 to 9 hours between the hours of 10 and 8. And we need to, and those are actual hours, not hours in bed, and then also manage stress. We can't omit stress, but we can manage it by creating healthy boundaries and implementing some stress resilience tactics. All right, number 3, how can you prevent that weight rebound when you come off of GLP-1s? So there is a big cost to GLP-1s. Also, those adverse effects that we talked about in part 1 may not make it realistic to stay on long term. So what do? If we don't have those healthy lifestyle habits we just talked about, if they are not locked in, up to 75% of the weight that you lose on a GLP-1 can come back. So we have got to, number 1, prioritize all of those lifestyle habits we just talked about. We need to optimize our microbiome. We need to work with our provider who prescribed the GLP-1, see if it's appropriate to taper down off of the medication versus just abruptly stopping. That can help. And maybe you want to bridge it with CaloCurb and or Akkermansia to support your body's production of GLP-1 as well. So as we've talked about in this 2-part series, GLP-1s are a powerful tool, but it's not a one-trick pony. We have lots of costs. We have lots of adverse effects associated. Nutrition and lifestyle is absolutely critical. So if you're on a GLP-1 or considering it, and you want to make sure that you have the proper personalized nutrition lifestyle strategy for you, I'd love to help. Drop me a line below. So drop a comment in the comments below, and I'll be happy to reach out and schedule that appointment for you. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.